right, good morning everyone. My name is Corey. Thank you so much for tuning in with me today. As the disclaimer goes, I am not a financial advisor. Do not invest in anything you are not willing to lose or hodl for a long time, and please do your own research or something along the lines in that order. All right, let's get into today's news about XRP and the current market situation. Looks like XRP has taken a nice rise. We are up 13% to 17 cents about. So looks like we have broken out of that daily triangle and we are moving to the upside a little bit. It looks like the traditional markets are also moving to the upside. I took a look at CNBC. We can actually take a look at that right now. CNBC, and we can see that the futures are up about almost 1,000 points. Dow futures up to 800-point openings, based a little bit after yesterday's close. Yesterday closed about 188 points in the green. So good to see that the markets are taking a nice bounce to the upside today. Good to see on a Friday. You know, let's leave everybody with at least some rekindled spirits that this might not be falling all the way to the dirt. But moving on, we've got Forbes. All right, so United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres says the intergovernmental giant needs to embrace blockchain. In a statement provided to Forbes by the Secretary General's office, Guterres touted that the technology first made popular by Bitcoin was a crucial component of the organization that generates $50 billion in revenue annually. All right, so now I've got him right here talking about a specific part of this. This is the remittance market at crypto_N1TE, all caps, gave us this tweet. So let's take a listen right here.
And countries less able to respond. Remittances are a lifeline in the developing world, especially now. Countries have already committed to reduce remittance fees to 3%, much below the current average levels. The crisis requires us to go further, getting as close to zero as possible.
So they're calling for 0%.
In addition, G20 leaders have taken steps to protect their own citizens and economies by waiving interest payments. We must apply the same logic to the most vulnerable countries in our global village and alleviate their debt burden. Across the board, we need a commitment to ensure adequate financial facilities to support countries in difficulties. The IMF, the World Bank, and other international financial institutions play a key role. The private sector is essential in creating investment opportunities and protecting jobs.
All right, so there you go. They want to close down remittance costs to zero. All right, they want to at least reduce remittance costs to 3%, or at least get them down to zero is what they're trying to do. Well, the only company that is private sector that he's talking about that I know of that can reduce the costs of remittances down to zero and still provide it to the globe in 3 to 4 seconds is Ripple and their token XRP. So it's, you know, that's probably what they're talking about. This is on the XRPL monitor at XRPL_monitor. Here's a transaction payment for 22,800,000 XRP to a sender's to the receiver's balance of now 79 million XRP. As I said in all of my videos, I like to bring these up because I believe that these are debt payments. This is the background that we're going through. So this is a financial economic switch. We're moving into a digital age. Things are going to become digital. We're not going to be doing this fiat paper money thing anymore. And this is what you're going to see ahead of time. Countries, G7, G20 countries using XRP to settle their current debt based on the valuation that they have in private that we don't know about. All right, Reborn at REP0RN13. Talk of big G7 move. All G7 agreed and signed. IMF looking for suitable timing for the announcement. The inverted value is here. So this is from Reuters. The dollar rampage spurs FX interventions. Talk of a big G7 move in countries switching from the United States dollar. All G7 agreed and signed. Gold standard is back. IMF looking for suitable timing for the announcement. Gold will kill the Fed. XRP will trigger the new paradigm. This is a long time coming. It is awesome. This is right off the IMF.org. Ripple transforming global payments. This is on the IMF website. All right, Bank of England Accelerator Program, Federal Reserve Faster Payments Program, International Monetary Fund, the atomic settlements via central banks, and it is outlining all of the same diagrams that we have been looking at right off of Ripple. If it isn't clear, this has got to be clear for you now that the IMF, the globe, is going to be using this system. All right, 5G and Trump, Samsung, Huawei, Apple, IMF, AB. All right, so it's basically just telling you all of the things that are going to be connected, and they can't do that with Bitcoin because Bitcoin is just too slow. So, all right, off of XRP for a second. This is from @JungleInc XRP. Jungle Inc. is a really great resource to the community. So if you don't follow his YouTube channel, please go do that. It is Jungle Inc. on YouTube as well. But California is issuing a statewide mandatory stay-at-home order due to the world's current events. And good for them. You know, whatever is going on, whatever you believe is the cause of this thing or why it's here or anything, the fact is that the more people that we can get under lockdown and inside, the faster that they can make whatever they're trying to do happen. The more we're in the way of it, the slower it's going to be. So let's just like pack down and keep our heads down and get done with what needs to get done so we can start moving into this new age as fast as humanly possible. All right, so if you know A Nun, or you know any of that stuff, it's kind of something that I enjoy following in my free time, but I don't usually talk about it. But just for the conspirators out there, if you are watching the channel, is the blank a cover-up for the deep state mass arrest? So if you do follow Q, you can probably get to where I'm going. There should be a whole bunch of people who did a whole bunch of really bad things, crimes against humanity, and all of this seems to be playing out at the same time that world mass hysteria is really kind of going on. So is this taking place? Is there really a plot to get the bad guys out of office and transition us into this basically this like age of enlightenment inside of a digital economy where we're able to really take care and take control of our finances and pull it away from these elitists that everybody says is really in control of our world? So is that going on at the same time? Maybe, I don't know, but it still adds to the narrative. And smoke and mirrors, what if Trump, Q, and the White House are using the white hats, are using the blank as a cover-up to go in, shut places down, and start making arrests? Are they pulling guys out like Mike Gates, getting them out of D.C. for a reason? Also, just wanted to show you the article. There are a lot of people talking about this, and this has been around for a very, very long time. So it is interesting to see all of these different kind of conspiracies from all these different angles, whether it be from an economic standpoint or a global arrest standpoint, or who did what and where they went and did it. It all seems to coming to this one needle point and ending this global kind of nonsense. I wanted you to hear Greg Manarino. He is he owns TradersChoice.net. He's an economist. I just wanted you to hear what he has to say. He has been talking about this global calamity for a while, and let's just have him talk and see what he's got to say about the recent events.
So the next move is going to be simple, very, very simple. As the currencies around the world collapse, as the dollar continues to get stronger, and the Fed is handing out dollars, there's going to be a move here to a new mode of transaction. It's going to be completely digital, completely cashless. I think we all knew this was coming, okay?
I think we all knew this was coming.
So the next move is going to be simple.
All right, so there you go. Just straight out of the horse's mouth right there. He believes that we're going into a cashless digital society. If you've been following in the crypto space, I'm pretty sure that you are feeling the same thing. Okay, this is Forbes right here. Forbes released this giant article talking about all of the ways the Fed has really messed with the markets. Right here at the bottom, it says flight to safety. Bitcoin's ultimate test. During times like this, investors often pull their capital out of public and private markets and store it in less volatile assets such as cash, gold, and more recently, Bitcoin and XRP. Although Bitcoin fell more than 30% last week with the rest of the market as the Fed announced multiple stimulus measures, its price began to slowly recover. Notably, Bitcoin was born as an antidote to the last financial crisis in 2008 and 2009. It was meant to represent a new digital unit of account. It was independent of banks and governments. Bitcoin also created to be a finite at 21 million units, and with its production to decrease over time, it was immune to monetary stimulus. This new digital money was created as a direct response to the quantitative easing, as evidenced by a famous footnote in the very first block of coins quoted that day's headlines from the UK Times. January 3rd, 2009, Chancellor on brink of second bailout for banks, was coded inside of the Bitcoin block. Today's perfect mix of chaos and mishandled monetary policy could be Bitcoin's ultimate test. Will it go down like many of the other assets in a liquidity crunch, or it will hold true to its promise and become an antidote to a shaky financial system? I will tell you right now that my theory is that it is not going to hold true. The logged back network is going to crash. There's going to be far too many people trying to use the network. Everything is going to get delayed. There's going to be days and days that people aren't going to have their money because they're going to be using this slow Bitcoin network. And if you've ever used a Bitcoin network during the time of increased activity and you don't know where your money is for an extended period of time, it is the most stressful feeling in the whole world. That's exactly why when I started over 2 years ago, I started with Bitcoin. And then I researched different tokens, and then when I landed on XRP and I started figuring out who was behind XRP, what they were doing, how fast their token was, how it was designed, all of that was it. I was done. I have not traded any other crypto asset. I own VeChain for speculation purposes only, and then the only other thing that I have is XRP. I don't own Bitcoin because I know that XRP is hands down the solution to what we need in our economy, and it is the only thing that's technologically advanced enough to handle it. So, this is a leaked Fed document, everybody. Watch out. Just kidding, obviously. This is from the Monopoly game board, and if you haven't read it closely, we're going to read it today. What if banks run out of money? Some players think that the bank runs out of money, or the bank is bankrupt if it runs out of money. The bank never goes bankrupt. To continue playing, use slips of paper to keep track of each player's banking transactions, until the bank has enough paper money to operate again. The banker may also issue new money on slips of ordinary paper. Does that sound familiar? Sure does. That's exactly how the regular economy works. When you run out of money, they take a bunch of paper covered in ink or a bunch of cloth covered in ink, they shove it through a printer, they crap out some more, and they send it to the richest people in the world. That's exactly how it works. Okay, harried traders gird for a frantic Friday, and it is known as quadruple witching. It is when options, futures, and stocks and indexes, known as quadruple witching, promises even more hectic trading, assuming that that's even possible. So, as I showed you this morning, CNBC was going to be up about 1,000 points. It is going to be some volatile trading today just because of this event. What is quadruple witching? Quadruple witching refers to a date in which stock index futures, stock index options, stock options, and single stock futures expire simultaneously. While stock options contracts and index options expire on the third Friday of every month, all four assets expire simultaneously on the third Friday of March, June, September, and December. Quadruple witching is similar to the triple witching dates, which when 3 out of the 4 markets expire at the same time, or double witching when 2 of the markets. So all of these things are going to expire, and it's going to cause some unknown types of volatile trading. Nobody knows what's going to happen because of it, but we're all watching closely today to see what's going on. All right, I have got the Dalai Lama at Dalai Lama. Even more important than the warmth and affection we receive is the warmth and affection we give. It is by giving warmth and affection, by having genuine sense of concern for others and others, in other words, through compassion, that we gain the conditions for genuine happiness. Be good to each other out there. Be kind to each other. Understand that we are all in this boat together, and understand that other people are going to be more stressed out. Some of you are in more control. Some of you understand how to keep control a little bit better. And then you are going to be the ones who need to lead the others through this hard time and allow them to grasp solidity when they are freaking out. And the last thing that I'm going to show you today is just XRP.com, because it is such a great website to go visit. It's got all of the videos. If you've missed any of my videos, it's got stats and charts. It's got technical analysis. We've got the Ripple feed in here. We've got a shop where you can find different places to buy XRP. You can figure out what we're all about, and you can check out all of the other people who are talking about XRP. Just in case I missed something, you can find somebody else who probably did it. So it's a great resource. It's a great website, and I really encourage everybody to go and check that out. It is a goal of mine to keep this thing running. It is a goal of mine to create a community around this website and channel to, to have people provide to the community. I'd love to get to swell one year for everybody who's part of this channel, and I would love to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So goals for the channel are in 1 year, hit 1,000 subscribers, create an awesome community surrounded by people who understand the new financial economy, and get to swell. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed the content today. If you did, please subscribe and like, and I will see you in the next video. All right, have a great day, everyone.